I was on a coaching call with a client this morning. I was sitting up at the time, and we were talking about living with this chronic condition because I happen to work with a couple teenagers that have some of the same issues that I do. And of course, they reach out to me so I can give them strategies on how to better navigate life and live fully with these conditions. And there's a couple of strategies that I shared that I want to pass on to you as well. One is that I've made a distinction between my pain and my thinking. Because in the past, I was going through chemotherapy when I was 18. Everything my body felt that was uncomfortable became my entire experience. So it was that I hurt, and that therefore I was depressed because I hurt, and I was angry because I hurt. Life was unfair because I hurt, and more narrative, more and more stories that made me an even bigger victim because I created a reality around the pain, okay? So now that I have these chronic conditions that cause a lot of pain, one thing that I've learned to distance myself from it is to simply say, this is a signal from my body. My body's doing what it's supposed to do. If there's something that it doesn't like in there or is wrong, it sends this little pain signal to get my attention. And responding to a pain signal does not require an extensive narrative that stretches all the way to the end of my life. This one, oh man, I'm in pain. It means I'm getting old and I'm slowing down, and before too long I won't be able to do everything I wanted to in the past. And isn't life awful? Getting old sucks. And the rest of your life is ruined because you felt a little pain. You see how that can get out of control? Now, I'm not talking about the hurts to your bones, nothing you take will alleviate pain. That's god-awful, and I don't wish that upon anyone. But those pains that maybe hurt a lot, but just for a second, or those nagging aches, whatever you want to call it. The point being is that you can create a boundary between what you do between your ears and what your body tells you, okay? The rule that I use is my mind does not have to feel the same way my body does. That's the rule. And in order to keep that boundary, I just keep it simple. Like I said a bit ago, just say that's a signal from my body. Heartburn is just a signal from my body. Scratchy throat is a signal from my body. And maybe you read a little bit more into it, like a scratchy throat. Is it allergy season? Yeah, allergies are up this morning. Maybe it's that. I'll keep an eye on it. As opposed to, oh my God, I bet you it's throat cancer. So you can just keep it simple. Observe it. This is what my body's doing. It's sending me a signal. That has nothing to do with how I choose to perceive life. Life can still be a place of opportunity and abundance, even though I have pain, even though I have fatigue. It's all about whether I have a narrative or don't. So that's one strategy. Another thing we talked about, how with some people, you can mistake those body sensations for the mood you're in, about how life feels. Case in point, fatigue can be mistaken for sadness. And if you're not aware of that body sensation, that it's just fatigue. It just means my body doesn't have the energy. I can still enjoy the sunshine. I can still close my eyes and listen to the breeze. I can still listen to my kids laugh to the best of my ability. Life goes on even when you have fatigue or pain. It's just a matter of how engaged you are with the important stuff versus the distracting stuff, which can be your body. And that distinction between feeling fatigued and feeling sad is a very important one. So keep that in mind. And you can do some simple reflection. Did anything happen for me to be sad about? Does somebody that I know ill or injured or something? No? Okay. It's probably not that then. Probably the fatigue. One thing about that whole idea that can mess us up is when we wake up in the morning, I encourage people to be very deliberate about their first thought of the day. They can even rehearse it at night while they're dozing off. so that in the morning they remember what it is they're supposed to say. And the idea is that the first thought sets the tone for the day. Well, it can, but I kind of encourage people to go inward to see what the natural, organic first thought of the day is versus trying to jam one in there. And this is how it would go. You wake up, you tune into yourself, you realize you're awake. Then your first thought is a question. And the question is, how am I feeling? And then see what pops up. It could be, I feel cranky, I feel hungry, I feel like I have to go to the bathroom. And that's fine, whatever it is, because it tunes you into what is that in the moment experience, as opposed to, oh crap, I gotta get up, and that means I need to put the uncomfortable suit on, and I need to get stuck in traffic, and I need to go to work. Well, not during quarantine, but the rest of the year. But you may be completely unaware of what set off that line of thinking because it happens so fast. Well, what if you started by tuning into yourself and asking, how am I feeling? Maybe you're feeling a little sad, a little anxious. If so, spend a moment with that. What's behind it? What can you do to handle that issue so that that feeling goes away, so you don't have to stuff it into the background, with the rest of the stuff you don't want to deal with? How can you deal with it right then and there? Because then you can move forward with that awareness, that mindfulness, and step into a place of relief, of calm, because you let go of something that doesn't serve you. So those are two strategies, maybe even a part 1 and part 2 of the same strategy. And I hope they're helpful for you. Please give me some feedback. Let me know if this is helpful. And by all means, share it with anybody you think can benefit from it. And until we talk next, you're good enough. You always were, and you always will be. And thanks for being you.